Hello. So, apparently the only way to get anyone's attention is to record something, so a friend told me. I'm annoyed at this friend, though, for personal reasons. Anyway, so here's the context of the video. My neighbor... sorry, YouTube. I'm going to read the Satanic Bible because people don't know what real Satanism is, and they only read the new half, when it clearly states that the original Satanic Bible was made by John Dee in the 16th century, a seer, which is basically a magical person who does writings, right? And by magical person, I mean someone who is interested in metaphysics and calls it magica. Anyway, so first key. This is gonna be horrible. I reign over thee, saith the Lord of the earth, in power exalted above and below, in whose hands the sun is a glittering sword, and the moon a thrusting fire, whose measureth your garments and their months of my vestures, and trusseth you up as the palms of my hand, and brighten your vestments with infernal light. I made ye a law to govern the holy ones, and delivered a rod with wisdom supreme. You lifted your voices and swore your alliance to him that liveth triumphant, whose beginning is not, nor cannot be, nor end cannot be, which shines as a flame in the midst of your place, as a rent amongst you, as you balance of life. Move therefore and appear. Open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly unto me, for I am the same, the true worshipper of the highest and feral king of hell. So, in the first key, right, this is basically someone talking about Lucifer talking about God. Because Lucifer's biggest pet peeve is God. Because he creates false laws, right? He creates these rules like, don't eat from this tree that I have put in your garden, for it has infinite knowledge. Even though infinite knowledge is an absolute in this earth. So a quote from the book is, the first key represents an initial proclamation from Satan, stating the inception of the laws and temporal theologies, and the lasting power which resides in those bold enough to recognize the earthly beginnings and absolutes, which is basically what I said, but in fancy terms. So basically, when people create rules that are based in lies and based in control and power, they are instantly being abusive. They're instantly demeaning your intelligence and holding you as lesser being, even though you are a being full of autonomy. So, Satan, as God's first son, who saw how God had treated Adam and Eve, right? And how they had just been born into creation, lacking luster, and needing to be thrown into humanity, right? Because the story of Adam and Eve and the story of Lucifer's rebellion are in tandem. With no humans, there would not be a revolt from Lucifer. Because humans are what caused Lucifer to revolt, because he saw the way God treated us as little pets instead of beings. So Lucifer spoke up and was like, hey God, you give these people autonomy, and then you give them a bunch of rules and say that if they do not obey you, they will go to a hell. And God says, well, what's the problem with that? And Lucifer says, well, it is you trying to control and demean this human race that you have created. And as another one of God's creations, who he has dominion over, only through technicality, he says, okay, Samael, my original son, this is your first name, it will now be changed to Lucifer Satan, and you will join the demons among hell, and you will rule over the humans who I deem are unworthy of me, since you care so much for them. And thus we have the first key, Happy Monday.